A Walk in the Woods stars Robert Redford and Nick Nolte, and it's based off a book, which might be based on a true story. I'm not really sure. But what this movie's about is this guy named Bryson, played by Redford. He doesn't know why. He just kind of wants to go on this walk on the Appalachian Trail. He doesn't know why. His excuse for it is always, I don't know. So he tries to get a friend to go along with him because his wife, Emma Thompson, thinks that he is going to die out there. He needs help out there. So he gets in contact with one of his old pals, Nick Nolte, and they go for a walk in the woods. Now, I was actually a little interested in this movie. I saw the trailer when I saw Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I thought, okay, that looks okay. The reviews that came out were just iffy, though. So I was a little worried going into this movie. But going out of it, I gotta say, it was just okay at best. There are some good things to this movie. Robert Redford was really good in his role. I thought he did a terrific job. And even though Nick Nolte's voice has gotten really bad over the years, he did fine in this movie, and I think Nick Nolte and Robert Redford's chemistry was on point, and because of their chemistry, I was able to watch this movie. If their chemistry didn't work, then this movie might have been just unwatchable. There are a few moments that actually got me to laugh. The camera work, how they captured the beautifulness of the Appalachian Trail, that was really good. Like, there are some shots that made me just go, wow. There are a few times where they use green screen, but other than that, and all the actors are on their A-game. I don't think there was any bad performance at all. Robert Redford and Nick Nolte, out of all of them, were the best, but no one did a terrible job. However, I gotta say, this movie is very disappointing on a lot of levels. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, this movie was funny at times, but overall, the jokes they were trying to pull just fell flat. It's not like it was like, oh man, this is some of the worst humor I've ever heard. It's jokes that I think could work in some way, but it's the way they were delivered by the actors or the way they were executed that just fell completely flat. Not only that, but a couple of the jokes were just some of the lamest jokes ever, like Robert Redford's wife, played by Emma Thompson, who is wasted in this movie, basically is like, "Are you just going to ignore me?" And he goes, "What?" I mean, that's not word for word, but that's basically what happens. Not only was it not funny, but it just, I've heard this before. Heck, I heard it on the Disney Channel before! And I gotta say, if it weren't for Robert Redford and Nick Nolte's chemistry and acting throughout the movie, I would have been bored out of my mind because this movie is boring. So if their chemistry was bad, then the movie would feel even longer because this movie feels like it was dragging its feet the whole way through because there's nothing really interesting going on. There really isn't. Yeah, there are a couple funny moments, and Nick Nolte and Robert Redford, they're pretty good together, but is there anything else interesting going on? No. You'd think Robert Redford might be having this weird character, like, revelation, like, going on this trail, but his only excuse is basically, I don't know. He doesn't know why he wants to go on the trail, and later on in the movie, I don't think we even learned why he actually wanted to do it. He just saw it and was like, hey, let's do it. At his age, he wouldn't really be interested in going on the Appalachian Trail, so there has to be some character thing going on. It can't just be, I don't know, I just want to do it. There's gotta be something else going on or else I'm not interested. And guess what? I wasn't interested for the majority of the movie. Nick Nolte, I think, had more character than Robert Redford did, and technically Robert Redford is the main character. Nolte agreed to go on this walk in the woods because he was about to go to jail for 30 days. And he's got this drinking problem from his past, and he's got this thing going on with him, and I think that could have been really interesting, and there was one scene in particular where I was like, alright, that's pretty good, but it's kind of ruined, because at the end of that scene, Nolte goes, well, that was a nice moment. It was until you pointed it out, and I think this movie is trying to be nominated for several Oscars. Watching this movie, I'm just like, yeah, this scene, that was going to be nominated for an Oscar. With the chemistry going on, you want these two to be nominated for an Oscar. It's just, this movie is clearly trying to be Oscar bait, but it's failing on a lot of levels. We've seen movies like that before, where it's like, clearly, we're going to get Oscars for this movie, and then no Oscars for that movie at all. Maybe not even a nomination. And when the movie is about to wrap up, it was very, very rushed feeling. Like something happens to them, they get out of that situation, and then they're like, hey, you wanna stop? Alright. Really? And then it takes another 5 minutes to actually end the entire thing because they're saying goodbye and going home and writing a book and like, oh my god, just end. If you're going to end, then just end. Don't make me sit here through this boring movie anymore. But can you watch this movie? Yeah. Once. Because for me, I'm only going to be able to watch this movie once. And I just watched it once, I'm never going to watch it again, because it doesn't have anything bringing me back to it. There's nothing interesting about it. There's nothing going on in this movie. It's just two gents go for a walk in the woods. They have a couple funny things that happen, but mainly, it's boring. There's a scene where bears come to their campsite, and what happens? They scare them away. It's fine. Why is this necessary? Oh, don't get me started on this one scene. Nick Nolte basically finds this woman at a dry cleaner's. He's like, oh, hey, what's going on? And then he's like, oh my god, she has a boyfriend. He's coming after me. Let's get out of here. And it's like the boyfriend is like knocking on the hotels, and Robert Redford and Nick Nolte get out through the back, and they run back on the trail, and the guy busts into where Nolte was staying and sees the window open at the back. And you would think that guy's gonna be important later, right? Never seen again, never even mentioned again. If you're gonna show the guy looking at the open window, at least have a scene where he's like following them into the woods, have some conflict, have something interesting going on. There was nothing interesting going on. I was bored throughout this whole movie, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give A Walk in the Woods a C. You could watch it once. That's it though. Robert Redford and Nolte are good. There's a couple funny moments, especially one scene with Kristen Schaal. But overall, this movie's not going to impress you whatsoever. There's even a scene where Robert Redford has this weird romance going on at this hotel, but that never gets explored. Plus, he already has a wife, so basically he's a cheater, and they never delve into that. So, okay, so ranting aside, guys, this movie was just... it's okay at best. But if you saw Walk in the Woods, leave in the comments below what you thought of it, and I'm going to be seeing Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials at 1:30 today, and it is, by the time I'm filming this, 10:58. So, I'll be seeing that in a couple hours, and then Box Office Talk will come, and yay yay. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.